This is
culture so much, they can do so.
this is Dr. Umar on the Joe Budden Podcast, and he actually goes back and forth with Ish, who's this a nice light-skinned gentleman sitting next to Dr. Umar, and Dr. Umar and Ish kind of go back and forth. It's actually pretty entertaining, and if we have time, we'll get to that as well, because there's a lot of stuff I don't agree with Dr. Umar that has a lot to do with race. And Dr. Umar gets put in the category of like an Al Sharpton or something. A lot of people call him a race hustler. I try not to use those kind of words, although he does profit greatly off of race. And as we're going to find out, he is kind of hypocritical on the things he says. So let's watch this video. This is about Eminem, what he said about Eminem. And a lot of people were very upset about this. I wasn't upset, but there's an aspect of it that there's truth to. But I mean, if you listen to what he's saying, I think he's dead on these things, right? Because there are definitely some culture vultures who will come into like I saw it a lot in the reggae community, right? You have these culture vultures who come in who like reggae music, want some kind of clout, and they happen to be white, and their heart's not in it. They're just sort of doing it for the clout, and I could see how that is upsetting to people, where it's just like, man, you are putting nothing into this. You're just doing it just to profit off of other people's cultures. Now, I'm one of those people who feel like in America, since if we're supposed to be this melting pot, then that's what we are. Okay, if that's what we're supposed to be, then that's what we are. Things that are made in America were made by Americans. Whether you're black, white, Mexican, brown, purple, whatever the fuck you are, you're an American who made this. Now, I don't mind giving props to people. Like the guy who invented peanut butter was black. Okay, that's all we hear about, right? The guy who invented peanut butter was black. Let's give it up to those people who invented and uplifted the entire human race. And was also a part of a certain community. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But to sit here and say that now, because this one black guy created peanut butter, no one else can have peanut butter but black people. You can't have black people peanut butter. You're not allowed. That to me is sort of ridiculous, right? And so what he's saying though, in this first segment is that he's talking about how some white people can benefit with their white privilege. And I have seen white privilege in the flesh. I know it exists. I've seen it. I have had it happen to me several times. My wife's seen it happen. I was on the phone with my wife when it happened once. So let me just tell you, there is a privilege to being white, and there is a sort of there is a stigma of being black, especially in this country. There can be, right, to certain people. Okay, so I get the idea of white people sort of profiting off of black people culture, and then being able to, like he was saying, be white and not have to suffer the same outcomes that black people have to suffer still. And we know, I'm not saying they're just white people murdering black people by the hundreds or anything, but there's definitely a second-class citizenship that's going on here that we are fighting through. I think that black and brown people are tearing down that shit as we speak. And these sort of limitations on speech and stuff, these are all just sort of growing pains. Hopefully we can work past that because of how important freedom of speech is. But again, I don't disagree with Umar on this part, but this next part is where things get a little weird. Weird.
They had
Another thing I have a problem with is this whole idea of gatekeeping. It's just like Dr. Umar is the say-all be-all on the black community. It's like, so we can't let these fucking people who are not black come into our community. Again, there has been terrible things that's happened by letting others into other, like tribes, right? Because we're turning tribal. So we always are weary of people from other tribes trying to come into ours. And I don't know. I just feel like that it's not a bad thing for him to be protective of culture, but to be a gatekeeper of the culture and to say that no one else can do it, especially if we're supposed to be American and this is supposed to be the melting pot, which anyways, I won't go over is just on one. And this is what he does. He sort of steamrolls people, yells, starts saying stuff like white supremacy, yelling it loud. And it's meant to silence people. But again, if you look around, the room is full of people that look like Dr. Umar. And so that really does work for white people. But when you're in a room full of black and brown people and they're just like, come on, man. They're going to call you out, which is important. It's important for people to be able to call out other people. And Joe Budden obviously doesn't agree with this. I think Joe Budden has a white wife, doesn't he?
We gotta
I don't
stop
see
inviting
DJ
people to the cookout.
Khaled building those schools and hospitals.
So he just said something there, and we're going to go over that as well. He's saying that Eminem does nothing to uplift the black community because he's white. He's also saying that Eminem is not able to be the best at something because he is white. So I've never in my head considered Eminem the best. A lot of people do. And so there's a part of me that agrees with Dr. Umar, because I remember last year when I was making the list of I remember Billboard had a list of top best 50 rappers of all time or something, 100 rappers of all time. And Bon Bon! What is up, my Canadian flower? Good to see you, my friend. We're talking hip hop. We're talking shit right now. Dr. Umar says Eminem can't be the GOAT of hip hop. So when I hope you've been well, Bon Bon. How you been? So when I put this list together of best hip hop artists of all time, Eminem obviously came up. And there was a part of me that was like, Eminem is so good, but is he the best, right? Is he the best of how, of rhyming? Is he the best for the culture? And I didn't think that. I don't think Eminem's the best. And a part of that was because he is not, because he's white. There was a part of me who was like, because he's white, I don't know if he can be the best. But, I don't think that's true, and that's my own bias, and that's not something that I would, that's something for me to reconcile, because in my head I was like, so I kind of agree with Dr. Umar, although I think Dr. Umar is coming from a much white people problem. I think Dr. Umar is coming from a much more militant and stringent side of things. Here's the thing about this argument. And this is what I was remembering. This is what I was thinking when I was thinking about this. I heard about this. And then I started seeing it in the comment sections in the videos, because I posted a clip of this and just, let the wolves tear each other apart. And I saw this argument come up. It's like, okay, so if we're going by that logic and that argument, then is Michael Jordan or LeBron James the GOAT of basketball? Are either of those the GOATs of basketball? Basketball was created by a white man. Basketball inventor. I think it was a fucking Canadian too. Yeah, I think you're right. A Canadian inventor. Namath, Canadian-American physician, physical educator, Christian chaplain. Now, someone said that Namath never participated in the sport, and so therefore it's a false equivalency. And to that, I would say, how would you just come up with this game if you're not participating in it? He had to come up with the idea somehow. So did he actually play the game? But I'm curious. Did he play a game? Play. Marbles. Name was a classmate, blah, 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 at the YMCA school where Stagg coached a football team. They became close friends. Namath played football team, and Stagg played on the basketball team. Yeah, look, he has a basketball right here. You can't tell me he didn't play basketball and then and be the inventor of it and not play it as well. So, obviously, there's a lot of people who agree with Dr. Umar. And again, I have sort of that opinion as well, but I don't think that it matters, because if that was the case, and I think I'm wrong for this thought too. And again, this is something I thought last year when I was putting together my own list of top rappers for like TikTok and for the stream. And that thought occurred to me too, even though I knew it was like, oh, that's not really right. And I didn't really think it through, but it was just something that was fleeting. Anyways, Eminem to me isn't the best rapper that ever lived. So whatever. Like, I love Eminem. But is he the best? Is he the greatest of all time? I don't know. He definitely transcended the genre. He definitely brought hip hop more into the mainstream. But is he the greatest of all time? I don't think so. It's like a fat guy being a coach. They never play, but they know the game. Yeah, you're right. But he had to have played at least once. Like, why would he? I mean, there's pictures of him with the ball. Look at it has the ties. Look at this basketball. It has the ties that football has. Look how shitty that is. Imagine you're trying to bounce the ball and it hits the tie things. Laces out. It hits the laces and it just bounces just randomly. The 13 rules through the YMCA network quickly spread throughout the country. Threw the ball in the air for first tip off. Yeah, see, he's played before. There's no way you can tell me. Okay, anyways. So, golf is the same thing, right? Like, when you think of, like, who's the greatest golfer in the world, who do we think about? I mean, maybe Jack Nicklaus. I don't even know what that guy looks like. But when I think in our time now, when I think of the greatest golfer of all time, is Tiger Woods. So to say that if a race or a group of people created a game or a genre of music, and say that someone else can't be the best at that, well, I don't think that's correct. I don't see it. It's not the same. It's not the same. It doesn't matter what your race is. If you fucking bring it and this is something that I've always preached for music as well. Like, I've never been in a situation in a band where it's like, oh, this guy's white. He can't play because he's white. So he can't play with us. It's like, can he play? Is he worth a shit at his instrument? What does he have to say? Can he rap? Does he have bars? He has bars for days, bitch. So I don't think when you're talking about music, I don't think, especially to musicians, we're not looking at race. We're looking at what your ability is and what you bring to the table. Race, gender has nothing to do with it. It's strictly, can you do the job? And so, I don't see a point in that. And again, I've had my own bias on this. So I kind of feel where Dr. Umar is coming from, but also Dr. Umar is super black supremacist, and his response to all this is kind of not great. So let's finish this video and then we'll move on to his response to all this. Now, lots of people have been angry about this, the way it should be. So he's also saying that Eminem has never built schools or done anything, which is all false. Eminem has given millions of dollars to Detroit inner city funds and such, which he just doesn't make it public. Interestingly enough, people are having a hard time finding where Dr. Umar donates his money that he asked for, or where Dr. Umar, because he's trying to build a school, which we'll get there. So let's go and check out some of what Dr. Umar's response was. Because it was kind of, I thought it was horrible. I thought his response was absolutely terrible. I'm not going to lie. And it made me not really care for him that much. Like, it made me lose a little bit of respect for him. But again, I know who this person is, and I don't think he has every right to be a black supremacist.
We must not only be
He has every right to be a black supremacist, just as much as every white person has the right to be a white supremacist in this country. You can do it. It's fine, but it doesn't mean I have to like you or accept your beliefs. And again, I actually kind of like Dr. Umar, so. But this did lower my opinion of him. I will admit that did lower my opinion of this dude. So here we go.
The reason I'm going live tonight is I want to address the Neanderthal nation. I'm going live tonight. I want to address
the Neanderthal nation. This is how he addresses people. So hold on. The Neanderthal nation. Here you go.
The Neanderthal nation. Oh, yes, I do. I want to talk black to the Caucasians who have been stalking me.
The Neanderthal nation is the whites.
For the past 48 hours. I want to talk to the Neanderthal nation tonight. The Caucasian community.
This person said this live is for Africans only.
You have been cyber stalking me for 48 hours, and I don't mind. I don't mind. You can continue to do it as long as you want, because I don't care if the opinion of every Caucasian is to the contrary. I say what I mean to say, and I stand on everything I say 10 toes down. But let me say this to the Caucasian community. Let me say this to the Caucasian community.
This says fart in my face.
When I look at your anger, when I look at your rage, when I look at the responses from America's Caucasian community over this issue of Eminem being the GOAT of hip hop, and let me say this, I have nothing personal against Eminem. My comments on the Joe Budden podcast had nothing to do with Mr. Marshall Mathers personally, and I want Mr. Marshall Mathers to understand that Dr. Umar Ifatunde harbors no personal
That's not his real name.
ill will towards you. This is not personal. This is business. This is not personal. This is business. Eminem, I want you to hear me, young man. This is not...
No, not at all. Of course not. But we'll get there, Bon.
Personal, this is business. You are a talented musician, lyricist, producer. You seem like you are an okay guy. You've never done nothing to me.
And again, I don't totally disagree. I mean, look at Elvis, right? Elvis was named the king of rock and roll, and all he did was steal from black people. But there's something that's hard, which I can see it, a cursory understanding of why people are upset about that. But also, he brought all those people who were being ignored by the mainstream. The king, fucking Elvis, brought those names to the forefront. He brought those names to the forefront. He brought these black musicians, and he did uplift that community. Whether he was stealing from it or not. Same thing with Eminem, right? Eminem, he wasn't stealing, right? Like, I mean, you can call it stealing, but for Eminem, he completely transcended the genre, and he transcended being a lyricist and how people, how you rhyme, right? Like, he did a lot. He brought a lot to the hip hop community. I think he added a shit ton to it. So, I forgot what I was talking about. I forgot where I was going with that. So, let's keep moving. Man, I wish I could remember where I was going with that. Oh, yeah. Because Eminem, unfortunately, because Eminem was white, he was able to connect with a large portion of untapped demographic. Same thing with Elvis Presley. He was able to target a demographic that black artists weren't able to penetrate before because of gatekeeping, and and institutional racism, especially for the king, right? For Elvis's time. But as that institutional racism sort of progressed throughout music, you see how black musicians were only, especially with gangster rap, it was just shoot 'em up, kill 'em, sell drugs, and fucking, and then R&B was like have sex, be promiscuous, all this stuff. That's, some people in the black community find sort of a degradation to it. But what Eminem did was sort of open up the demographic to a whole new audience for black musicians and black artists who were able to hit the whites. The whites, the whites are a huge demographic to hit, right? So, and it's beautiful that music can bring people together. So it's a good thing that happened, even if it was based on some terrible shit. Like I was saying, Eminem, him being white, was able to bring this black culture more to the forefront of the American people and to the world. It kind of sucks that it's like that and it's not right, but this is where we're at, folks. So, okay, back to Dr. Umar. And we're going to be skipping around a little bit on this video because this is a half hour and it's fucking a lot of it is him just repeating himself over and over and over again.
You've never done anything that I personally witnessed to be worthy of condemnation. So my comments are not personal. They apply to any non-African. This is about business, the business of protecting the integrity of African culture. I said my comments on the Joe Budden podcast was about business, not personal. The business of protecting the sacredness, authenticity, and integrity of African culture. I said that no non-African can ever be the best of anything in African culture. You can't be the best cook of African food. You can't be the best rapper of African hip hop. You can't be the best singer. You can't be the best priest of African culture. Nothing we create can a non-African be the best at. First of
all. Okay, and of course, and I believe Dr. Umar, in Dr. Umar speak, he calls anybody black African, even though we're American here, because I believe it is because he still claims Africa because black people were stolen from Africa and brought here and were not ever really fully acclimated into society here. So he feels that he's still African and therefore everyone who's black in America is considered African because they were never fully accepted into American society. So that's just trying to decipher what Dr. Umar is talking about. He has lots of fun little Dr. Umarisms.
It makes absolutely no sense at all. I don't even see.
And there's and in that lies a lot of the controversy too, because he keeps calling it African music, and hip hop is definitely an American music, and it's just. And at this point, it's just subjective, right? Like this is how he sees it, so that's how it is. Where the reality is that it was American. It was made in the black community, and I completely concede that all of Western music was created by the black man, or stems from the black man.
How an African can come to the
Western music is like today's Western music, not like Western classical music or whatever.
Conclusion that a non-African can be the best at anything when we are the oldest people. We are the first people.
We're all from Africa. We're all African.
And we are the most numerous.
Western, like cowboy, yes. Like good guys and bad guys.
People. So when you say a non-African is better at X, Y.
Listen, I'm 2% Senegalese, Bon, so they can't even fuck with me. They said one drop. I'm in.
In Z, than a member of the race, you're saying that this person can do this better than 2 billion Africans. Or you're saying not only can they do it better than 2 billion Africans on the planet, you're saying they can do it better than all of the billions of Africans that have ever walked the planet Earth. You know, and I know that that is absolutely ridiculous. You know, and I know that is absolutely ridiculous.
Look, he just repeats himself. Look, again.
Like I know that that is absolutely ridiculous. And from a cultural integrity perspective, this is not about Mr. Marshall Mathers. I don't have nothing personal against that man. But from a cultural integrity perspective, haven't they stolen enough from us? Haven't they appropriated enough from us? Haven't they robbed, stealed, killed, enslaved, lynched, miseducated, mass incarcerated, politically dominated us enough that you mean to tell me that after 404 years, you got black people running around playing defense attorney and cheerleader for white folks?
Wild.
You got black people running around after 404 years playing defense attorney and
Say it one more time, Dr. Umar.
You got black people arguing for a white man to be considered the greatest of all time in an African art form speaks to how psychologically ill we are as a race of people.
And so what Dr. Umar is asking is for all black people to be mad about shit, terrible shit that's happened in the past to people that that they don't really know, or at least their parents and or their aunts and uncles. I'm not against that, but I'm all about let's just try to move forward. And we shouldn't forget our past, but let's try to fucking just move forward. We know that white people have been shitty to people of color. We know it. Anybody who has any brown in them knows it. But it's like, there's so many brown people who are just like, I am so sick of this shit. Like, can't we just live? Can't we just live without having to adhere to some doctrine made by, somebody who is supposed to be the gatekeeper for all black people? Like, it's like, come on. And there's nothing wrong with having this idea. Again, there's nothing wrong with black supremacy. If black people want to think they're better than everybody in the world, I don't give a fuck. That's not me. You're not hurting me by holding that belief. This is fucking America. If you want to think that you're better than other people, that's your right, baby. Same thing as the whites. I don't agree with it. But if you're white and you believe in white supremacy and that's how it goes, that's your right, bro. That's your right. Either of those examples, I don't really want to talk to. I don't really want to have conversations with them. But still.
All we have been through in this country, you got black men running around playing defense attorney for white folks, advocating for Marshall Mathers.
But this, and you see a lot, especially in the comments, you see a lot of black folks they're not defending Eminem. I think they're defending a culture. And when you look at what Eminem has given to the hip hop community and culture, I mean, it's incredible. Like, again, like the dude transcended fucking hip hop and the way you can rap and the way you can rhyme and rhyming off of syllables and stuff. And yeah, Twista and Busta, yeah, they can rap fast and they got all that shit too. But Eminem brought specifically his flair to it that no one else has ever done. So yeah, he's contributed a lot to the culture. And so when you have these black people who are defending Eminem, I don't believe they're defending Eminem as in the context of being white. They're defending Eminem mostly in the context of what he's contributed to the music. And that's where Dr. Umar, a non-musician, is getting a little off track to a lot of people who are involved in music or advocates of hip-hop music. So, and then, of course, there's people who are just like, yes, absolutely, Dr. Umar. And again, I don't think Eminem's the GOAT of hip hop. I don't think he is the GOAT. So I'm not even sure who the GOAT is. I mean, Biggie? I don't know. Kendrick? I don't know. Kendrick's pretty fucking amazing.
Nothing against Eminem personally. But for a black person,
Bon's the best. The thing he brought to the table is his whiteness. Yeah, that's the only thing that Eminem has to say. Is the only thing that Eminem brought to the table was his race.
To go out of their way to fight for any white person to be considered the greatest of all time in an art form that should be sacred to our community, our culture, and our people is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. But let me address the Caucasian community, because I've been called racist probably 1,000 times today, and I don't mind. I absolutely do not mind. Because there's a few things we know. After 1,000 years of direct interaction with Caucasians, there's a few things we do know. One thing we know about you is you're not honest about anything if it jeopardizes your power and control of other groups. Let me say that one more time. I'm talking to
That is all groups and power. That is humanity. All groups who hold power do not want to be infringed on their power. Tons of African tribes and shit that do the same shit who are holding power, who are murdering people. There's tons of shit going on right now. Oh, was it in the Congo? Is that where it's happening? Where there's just genocide going on right now? There's just millions, hundreds, or thousands of people being murdered or something. It's happening right now. The fight for power.
all you Caucasians who saw fit to have a
Bon
temper
Bon.
tantrum on my timeline. I'm talking to all you Caucasians who saw fit to flood my inbox. I'm talking to all you Caucasians.
I wanted to address.
Look. There was this big edit, right? Because he had to calm himself down. It looked like someone was like, you're about to get banned. So he even addresses it.
The hypocrisy of perpetrators of racism who call the victims racist. I wanted to address that, but I've been informed that members of the Neanderthal nation have been reporting me. So I'm not going to be able to go in the way that I wanted to go in. I really wanted to expose the hypocrisy of people who have more energy for a conversation on who's the greatest rapper than they do for protecting black people from the police. I really wanted to deal with the same energy. It is much for black women being sexually trafficked as they care about Eminem being called the GOAT. We would have solved a lot of our problems. Genocide in the history of humanity.
And so now he's saying if white people cared more about black issues rather than Eminem being the GOAT, then maybe we wouldn't have all these problems. He has a point. But of course, that's what that's what all this stuff is really, is a distraction from our government robbing us of our money and liberty, right? It's all just a distraction anyways, so it's working.
I find it quite hypocritical. Brothers and sisters, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. Hit the Cash App.
Look. This is it.
Brothers and sisters, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, so he's like, okay, reset. Then he starts the ask, right? He is about 9 minutes into his diatribe, and then here it goes. And then here he goes with this.
13th annual Kwanzaa tour, and it'll probably be the last because next Kwanzaa will be at FDMG. This is probably my 13th and final Kwanzaa tour because next Kwanzaa will be at FDMG. Hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School. Hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School. Let's take some questions for FDMG. If you have a question for me, make a donation of $5 or more to cash.me/$ FDMG School. If you have a question.
So he's getting his followers all worked up, and then there's the hard push. He also goes into PayPal. If you have a question for Dr. Umar, you can give him $5 and he'll answer your question. Okay, hustle, respect it, get your money, baby, get that money. But he's getting people riled up about race and then is asking for money. Again, I don't want to use the word race hustler because that's so derogatory. But there is something about people who intentionally say, and I believe that this dude believes what he's saying, right? I don't think he's fake, but I definitely is like, a pot stirrer for profit. Huh?
He dates white women and Asians.
He don't date white women. He do, but he does.
I don't know anything about him. I just looked at his
he's all about like keeping it black, keeping in the black family. He calls people snow bunny jumpers if they're
got white women on the low. He cheats.
Maybe, but he definitely has two babies out of wedlock, and he's like one of those people who are like, you gotta have a strong family, you gotta do all this, blah 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 blah. He is like him and Kevin Samuel.
His little fuckboy beard and know that he's like.
Oh yeah, he's fucking.
A little fuckboy beard.
He's fucking.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Bon Bon says hello.
Hey, what's up, Bon Bon?
But yeah, he's definitely.
Everything about him looks like.
Right now, he's asking for money, for questions. He's like, he got everybody riled up about hip hop, about Eminem and being white. He can't be the best, whatever. and then he was like, if you got questions, $5 Cash App, write your questions into Cash App, PayPal. Oh shit, she's chilling and off this week.
Oh, the whole week.
But
I'm on maternity leave.
why would you say
Go.
that Eminem? You wouldn't say that Eminem's not the best of all time because you don't think he's the best,
don't
but
like his
it's not
lyrics.
because he's white, right?
I just
Or
don't
is
like
it?
I just don't like his lyrics.
Right, he's violent. Yeah.
I don't think he's the best.
Raina doesn't like him because of the content of his lyrics,
Yeah,
not because he's a white.
I don't think he perpetuates like a healthy habit of like. I like
Kim, Kim is like
I
those are
think
terrible.
Nas is probably like one of the
Right,
best rappers.
Nas and Biggie are holding it down.
I don't know
pretty
about
firm.
Biggie. Biggie's good, but I'm not a Biggie fan. Don't flick my belly.
I didn't flag it. I didn't want to.
Oh, don't. I felt it.
Okay, I gotta get this through because Ty's
Sorry,
gonna be
I
on
just
here
came
soon.
to go potty.
So I'm gonna so we're gonna change videos. In this video, he says that any black person who's defending Eminem.
You know what? He doesn't cheat with white women, but he exclusively watches white porn.
Oh, that'd be tight. He said that any black person who defended Eminem as the GOAT should be taken out back and bullwhipped. He said that black people should be whipped. I wish I could find it because I'm not just making this shit up.
Answer to Google and welcome. Did you forget we had to fight for our children to go to decent schools because y'all kept us out? Because y'all kept us out with that ability. See, y'all love to call black people racist because it's a distraction. Let's play the victim so nobody. And even today, Floyd police reform bill been signed into law against narcissism. Give to the world, and I think of terror and bully tactics. Bully tactics control the narrative, and you think I give a damn? He crowned white Jesus of the hip hop industry. Like y'all want a white face. Wants to be so liberal now. Us. After all you have appropriated from us. In Cancer, we're my beautiful African queen. No European. I'm talking to my sisters. African queen. The mayonnaise session has ended.
The mayonnaise session has
The damn chat.
The mayonnaise session has
To form into a strong revolution. The reason I'm going to facilitate liberation, because you have revolutionary each other. Stop studying the black divine feminine note.
Okay. Anyways, he does say it somewhere in this. Okay, so I found a couple videos that I really liked, and let me make sure that our guest is cool. Make sure that she knows. We already talked today, but by the way, okay, cool. No problem. Okay, so she'll be on around 4:30. That gives us plenty of time to dick around.
What you need braids in your hair for? All natural braids, so be it. All natural braids, so be it. Can you come lay next to me? It's consciousness over cookies, my sister.
Oh my God.
Politics over the poo.
Come lay
This
next
is
to me.
revolution over the romance. This is institution. All he did was plagiarize. Since y'all so liberal.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So we're let me see if I can find the transcripts because this shit is hilarious. Let me see. Look, Caucasians, y'all need to be whipped. I thought he was, you soft bait. This is what he says. Okay, this is what he's actually saying. Let's just see.
Y'all need to be whipped. You soft beta male tantrum. And you Negroes who standing in solidarity against your culture with the Caucasians, y'all need to be whipped. You soft beta male Negro-pean coons, y'all need to be whipped. Y'all need to be horse whipped. Always going out of your way to defend your oppressor. Y'all need to be horse whipped.
Okay, I'm sorry. I love that. Okay. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him. I think that black people are on a spectrum and they can like think and be and have opinions whatever they want, just like anybody else. But Oracle the White, hello, welcome in. My opinion, if it is purely on race, then they can't claim being the GOAT in basketball, tennis, or golf, and whatever else white people have created. We were just talking about that, Oracle. We just were talking about that because, yeah, you're right. You're right. If we're going by that logic, which again is stupid logic. I don't agree with it. I think it's dumb to make things according to race. I thought we were supposed to be judging people on the content of their character, but whatever. We're gonna make things about race so we don't pay attention to the terrible choices our leaders are making for us and working against us as the citizens of America. So let's be divided by race. How about that? I agree with you. Oracle the White. I definitely agree. It's like that argument is so stupid because Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Who's the GOAT? Larry Bird? No, Larry Bird was great. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, the GOAT of a game that was created by not only a white, but a fucking Canadian white. It doesn't get much whiter than that. A Canadian white made basketball. So is LeBron the GOAT? Yeah, I don't like the argument. I don't like it. Even though in my weird head, I kind of agreed with Dr. Umar, especially just in my own ranking of hip hop, of rappers, which, that was just in my own head, but I'm evolving, I was saying earlier, you guys missed it because I put together my own, because Billboard last year did a top 100 best rappers or top 50 best rappers of all time. And I put together my own. And I remember when I was putting Eminem, he's definitely top 5, but I never thought of him as number 1 because there was a part of me that was like, how can he be number 1 if he's not white? But I think but that was like such a cursory thought. It wasn't something that I focused on, right? Like I wasn't being like, oh, he's white, he can't do that. But it was something that came across my mind when I was putting together my own hierarchy of best rappers. So it's not the right way to think about things because, again, we have the example of sports, which is basketball and golf. These things were created by whites, which are dominated by fucking black folks. So and Latinos and such. So, it's a shit argument, I think. But again, this is who Dr. Umar is. So I don't hold it against him. And, I give him much props for the work he has done in the black community. So, there's nothing against that. Nothing against wanting to uplift your own. But this dude has some really wrong-minded shit. Like, he has some wrong-minded things that I just don't agree with. But again, I kind of look at him as a comedian in a sort, because he's very funny, even if you don't agree with him. He's kind of like Trump. I don't agree with Trump, and I don't particularly like him, but he is fucking severely hilarious. Let me see. Now, I want to go to this other video. Now, DJ Academics, who I like Academics. I follow a lot of his stuff. I think he put it right. I think he had a good idea.
Cooking. Let me see if I can.
So this is off his live stream. And Academics puts it, and if you don't know who Academics is, he's a social commentator in the hip-hop community. He has a large following in that sense. And he has a lot of people who pay attention to what he says. So I like how he says it, and especially coming, from a black dude, and I think he has a more eloquent way of saying it than I do. So let me see if I can get to it.
It wouldn't make sense for a culture that's rooted, or for music that I would have agreed with him if he said the most. Okay, my boy Umar was going crazy. I think I completely disagree with him.
There you go.
I would have agreed with him if he said the most impactful and influential. It wouldn't make sense for a culture that's rooted, or for music that's rooted in black culture, for the most impactful and influential person to be someone who's white. But the skill of rapping and being the best rapper, now we're not talking about the most important hip-hop artist of all time. We're not talking about the best hip-hop artist of all time. If someone was to say they believe Eminem is best at the skill of rapping, I don't have a problem with it. By the way, it's just like, even though I'm pretty sure, just to kind of give myself a counter argument while I make my argument, in a sense, I know I'm not arguing with no one, but I know he would probably say this isn't particularly rooted in tradition, but I mean, some could make the point that, say, for example, golf. That's something that is white culture, ain't it? Like,
there you go. Academics.
Then golf white people shit? Unless some black, niggas like Dr. Umar and Tariq and shit, like, they'll come out with some weird stat like, golf was actually created by a nigga on the plantation when he took a ball of cotton and he rolled it up and he hit it. Like, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, if golf is white people shit, I think white people would also admit that the best is Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody said Jack Nicklaus, but still, like, Tiger Woods, right? And it's just about the skill of being a golfer. It's just a skill. I think the skill of being just a rapper, it doesn't matter what race, where you're from, it's just about the skill. And that's where I think if someone had a opinion that Eminem was the best rapper, I wouldn't have a problem with them saying it. Now, if someone said, let's stay on the Eminem thing, Eminem is he's the most impactful, like, rapper, or he's the most important rapper. No, clearly not. I do believe that, when we start talking about rappers that have had cultural impact, this is why I give Tupac a lot of, praise, in the sense of a lot of what rap stood for in rebellion and for revolutionaries. I do think he embodied some of that, and I do believe the music he made and the movement he had and his career and life has transcended even beyond his death and influenced other people of other times.
I was just talking about that. With Raina, because Raina, she thinks Biggie's a better rapper than Tupac, and I would agree with that. But what Tupac did was bring back that idea of being a revolutionary, being a thug revolutionary, and bringing consciousness to the mainstream as it was at one point. Like, that's the crazy thing about hip hop, is that it used to be like dance party music. Then they started talking about revolution, fight the power. And I'm guessing that probably made money, but I'm guessing a lot of white people were like, can we do it more where they're killing and robbing each other and, being really promiscuous and showing black people as only violent alcoholics and drug addicts? Can we do that? And that's what it was. And, to some extent, that's what it still is. Very focused. The mainstream is very focused on the destruction of black and brown people still. And you don't see conscious rap being the mainstream, do you? You see fucking my coochie is pink and my booty hole brown, or bucket and a mop, wop wop, right? Like, you're not seeing Mos Def and Talib Kweli and fucking Common just in the mainstream. We did see him a little bit, right? Kanye West kind of had that, carried that in, but it was never the mainstream. It's always been this, it's always been like an underground hip hop thing. Is always this conscious and uplifting music, other than murder, fuck, kill. I just like the big like Biggie's flow more. Yeah, me too. Bon. I like it more. It's better, but that's subjective, right? Okay, so let's academic, I think, gives a great opinion on this, and a much better opinion than I can formulate at this moment, I guess.
To use music in a way to stand up for things. And I think that's where, the greatest hip-hop artist of all time, that matters. But if we're only talking about the skill of rapping, no.
So,
somebody said,
okay, here. He responds to someone in the chat, which I thought was good,
Umar got caught with a snow bunny. He's a sellout. He didn't get caught with a snow bunny. According to him, right? I think he went to go shopping or some shit of the sort. And, yeah. Oh, by the way, he had this thought on Kobe Bryant, which I think...
Lester Bryant just started an initiative with 3 predominantly white
colleges, some sort of a sports initiative.
Okay, boy, 405.
Anyways, he starts talking about that gets into a different part of this interview, which is Joe Budden. So I didn't realize Budden only put it on his Patreon and not the actual, not on YouTube. So I was like, I'm trying to find this, but it's on his Patreon. So I've been just going off of the clips and stuff I've been finding on, everywhere. Okay, so let's go over here. So I liked how Academic put that. Now, there are some other things that people are noticing, and so people are starting to respond. So where the fuck is my stuff? Story. All right, so where is it? Okay, here we go. So this is a good video. ET lifestyle.
Hello again, and welcome back to another one. And today we have more on the ongoing drama that got Eminem trending on social media since Christmas. All thanks to a recent episode on the Joe Budden Podcast that featured Dr. Umar. And during his rant about Eminem, he made a statement that set things off, as this has led to a session online where users on the web are pulling up receipts and more. And to be honest, the doctor opened a can of worms with this one, as he's been getting exposed as a quote scammer as a result of this. And just before we dive in, we have some interesting updates on Eminem's latest feature on Juice WRLD's Lace It, as it debuted on this week's Hot 100 in the United States at number 86, and it has finally broken into Eminem's top 10 most popular songs right now on Spotify at number 10 at the moment. It is number 3 for Juice WRLD and number 2 for Benny Blanco at the moment, and it is currently number 1 on Snapchat's most popular songs list. And moving on to the main topic today, Dr. Umar opened the floor.
Is that Scottie Pippen?
And this was all
Chester Cheeto, Scottie Pippen.
the users needed to hear on social media to start pulling up receipts to expose the doctor for being an alleged scammer.
Always repeating itself. Always.
So here's the thing. Dr. Umar has some not so great baggage that comes with his name.
Predictable.
For being an alleged scammer, and many Eminem fans didn't come with feelings, they came with receipts. As a user pulled up a whole decade worth of data linked to Eminem's work in the Detroit community via the Marshall Mathers Foundation. It goes, Marshall Mathers Foundation contributions and grants to help Detroit, Michigan and its surrounding communities 2011 to 2021. And would you look at that? Ice cold facts.
Look at this. Department of State. He's funded the police, Family Against Narcotics, Life Ties, Rush Philanthropic Arts Foundation,
charts, spreadsheets, and in 2020, due to the
now, of course, we got to keep in mind that donating to charity by anybody wealthy is a tax write-off, so it's very helpful for the bottom line.
Situation around the world, charitable disbursements reached $1.3 million. Most of these donations were to provide aid focused on impoverished children. He also gives out for merch sales, among other things. And if you know how many merch bundles we got in 2023, you know it is no joke. And users on the web set their sights on Dr. Umar since he opened this can of worms to find out what he's given out to the community, and the exposing session begun. As in response to the receipts provided, the user expanded, Umar has been collecting donations for about the same period of time. Therefore, Eminem has literally given more to the community than Umar, who has simply taken more. So while Eminem was giving out, Umar was...
Now, remember, we just watched that video where Dr. Umar gets everybody worked up and then... Is that... Movie Dutchman, welcome in, my friend. Thank you so much for being here and for that sub. I appreciate you guys still subbing over here. We've been streaming on Kick for a while, so we came over to Twitch just for today, but we will be going back to Kick. And we're trying to get, if you guys are in chat and you haven't gone over to Kick, make a profile and go and follow me. I'm trying to get to monetization. So, it's fun starting over. Moving Dutchman, look at you. Look, nothing works though, Moving Dutchman. So, sorry.
Hello, Moving Dutchman. This is Gandalf. Thank you for all that you do for this channel and always remember, a moving Dutchman is never late, nor early, but arrives precisely when he means to.
Why are you gay?
We and Ray were trying to figure out how to get the gifts back on, but I don't know what I did. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's get back into this movie, Dutchman. We're talking about a big hot topic, hot button topic going on in the hip hop community right now is, can Eminem be the GOAT of hip hop, the GOAT rapper, the greatest of all time, if he's white? Can a white man be the best at a black culture invention such as hip hop? And so here we go. Now we're exposing the guy who is sort of stirring the pot.
Was allegedly taken out, and from Tony the Closer, talk is cheap, building matters, years into promises of a school, and still nothing. What is the real impact of Dr. Umar's words? Let's evaluate on tangible contributions, not eloquent speeches. When this building getting completed, and he had more to add. Umar may speak well to some of y'all, but the proof is in the work. Here's his school that he has got donations on for over a decade. All talk, and here's some snippets from the video.
It has not been renovated. I'm gonna get up here and give you all a tour of FDMG. I'm giving you guys a tour.
So in the video, FDMG, in the video that we just saw, where Dr. Umar is responding to the fallout of what he said about Eminem not being the best rapper because he's white, in the middle of that diatribe, almost perfectly in the middle, he starts asking donations for his FDGB. Is that what he was calling it? He's asking for donations for this very school we're looking at right now.
I've been renovated. I'm gonna get up here and give you all a tour of FDMG.
No, she can't.
FDMG. This is the back of FDMG.
FDMG.
Right? The school is renovated to you? Nothing about this school is renovated. Nothing's been done here. Look at the door. He said the sprinkler system was taken care of, right? He said the sprinkler system was done. That's the sprinkler door. No new stickers, nothing. I don't know if you can see it, spider webs in those windows. Same shit, it's all boarded up. He's done nothing. Look at the doors. Everything is boarded up. The mailbox isn't even fucking, a new mailbox is not even on there. He hasn't done anything out here. Look at this shit.
Even Vlad contributed to expose him since he called him out by name, and Vlad posted this reminder on Twitter. Dr. Umar Johnson took donations for school 7 years ago, still hasn't opened. And talk about opening a can of worms. Umar been raising money for a decade. Someone needs to ask him what he has done financially for the community other than buying an abandoned building. The community has an issue with valuing words more than actions because Umar himself has 2 black baby moms out of wedlock, taking millions from the community without a return, but still walks around acting like some moral standard because he speaks well. And for those who believe he speaks well, some have expanded. Umar got 2 black baby mamas and not married to either of them, but he's the standard for black consciousness. He only sounds intelligent to dumb dudes. And when it comes to Eminem changing the lives of people from the community, this was pulled up from Tony Yayo.
Who the input on? G-Unit, D12, Slaughterhouse, Joe Budden's in them, right, and Griselda. It doesn't matter at the white boy because he's the black hockey player. Come on. Yo, his music don't play in the clubs. So that don't make him the GOAT. Why in the ball? I know. Why did they hate Eminem?
Because he's white. That's it. He's white.
Now, we got down with Eminem. We done be called house niggas, on this, that. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody in my hood, my family, wore a free Yayo shirt at the Grammys and look out for me.
And it goes deeper as more receipts have been pulled on the doctor. A video that goes, Dr. Umar Johnson. Hip-hop is not black culture.
Oh, sorry, movie Dutch.
Viral. Eminem has contributed more.
Hold on, buddy. Let me slow it down for you. we had it hyped up a little, but now that we got some overseas friends, let's slow it back down.
To black culture than Dr. Umar ever will, and he didn't ask for donations, and they kept dunking on the doctor. Eminem has done more for black people than this fake doctor, and we got more think pieces about Dr. Umar's shtick. I don't respect Dr. Umar for a lot of reasons, but number one,
shut up, movie
how
Dutchman.
he's always focused on other people, telling folks how they should spend their money, how to raise their kids, or who they should be in relationships with. You are not the authority on other people's lives. It is wild how Dr. Umar and El Jamar share this in common. The self-proclaimed unelected speakers and directors of all black people in the world. And here's one to end it. Dr. Umar is a scamming clown who's never done nothing for the black community. He's nothing but a meme. It is hilarious people take him seriously. And now that you've heard from users on social media, I'll be looking forward to your thoughts.
So, yeah, so there a lot of people are like, this guy's stupid. But again, I like Dr. Umar. I like some of the things he says. I think I like the idea that he's very pro-family. Obviously, he's very pro-black. I'm very pro-brown. I just, there's just things I don't agree with, and that's fine. We don't have to agree with everything another person has to say. But I still like him. I still like what he does, and I respect that he sticks to what he believes in, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now there's another one from ET Lifestyle, which I want to go over, and this is people responding now. People are responding to
hello again,
and not just anybody, like rappers and even Eminem himself. So I really like how ET frames this, so we're gonna watch a little bit of this.
And welcome back to another one. And today we have more of the ongoing drama that started thanks to Dr. Umar when he took his Pan-Africanism into the hip-hop genre to discredit Eminem's place in hip-hop. And we've got a couple of reactions.
And here's the other thing. People are trying to say that Dr. Umar besmirched Eminem's name. Like, they're trying to act like Dr. Umar said that he ain't shit. He clearly did not say Eminem ain't shit. He didn't say he sucked. He didn't say he doesn't, deserve to be where he's at. He didn't say any of that stuff. He did say, what has Eminem done for his community, which we've just saw that he's done a lot for his community, especially Detroit, a city like Detroit, a city that I'm familiar with, Detroit, Michigan, which is about 50 minutes away from me. That place needs all the love it can get. So let's go. Happy and healthy New Year to you. Oh, yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. By the way, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Our guest, Ty White Beats, is going to be on in about half an hour. She's running a little behind today, but we're going to be having Ty White Beats on the show, and I'm pretty excited. Let me get past that. Okay, cool. All right, let's get back into this video.
To explore today from Eminem associates like Denon Porter and Royce the 5'9", who shared their thoughts on social media, and word about this certainly got to Eminem as he's reacted in his own way to this drama that stirred some interesting reactions from users on social media, which we'll get to later. So for those who missed it, here's a quick recap of what this is about when Dr. Umar made these claims about Eminem.
According to who?
You, rap fan.
Okay, we know.
People seem to forget the question that started this was, you don't think Eminem is one of the best rappers of all time? That was all it took for Dr. Umar to claim it is an insult to quote 2 billion Africans around the world to say someone like Eminem is the best of anything of African origin. And starting with D12's Denon Porter, we got this. So, never heard or seen my brother say he was anything but grateful and happy to be a part of the culture. He not even on that. He just happens to write relentlessly, give 100% effort relentlessly, and always respectful to the culture. Never seen him talk reckless crap on any other artist that came before him. You never heard nobody say he did crap to them, only what he didn't do for them. And while he may not have built an actual school, the dude never wants a camera around for anything he does charity-wise, because it is not about that. He ain't ever been nothing but a stand-up, donating and helping with respect to the person's situation.
And if you guys don't know who D12 is a hip-hop group out of Detroit that Eminem is a part of, but also brought up after Eminem exploded. He brought up his homies, and so this is one of the members of D12.
situations. In my opinion, people choose to hate an MFer these days because they don't donate to the cause you deem worthy. A man counting your pockets don't mean he know who you've helped. I respect Dr. Umar for what he tries to accomplish, but this is just an opinion. It don't change the character or is anywhere near altering to how homie move with the highest respect for and in the culture. He know he ain't black, he also don't act like it.
What's the song? The Black and Purple Hills, where they're I just remember the video. They're like, it's all purple and they're all eating shrooms and shit. The Black and Purple, I can't remember what the name of that song. Yeah, D12 is shit. It's been so long, actually, since I've heard D12. That's funny.
Or expect-ish, he does try every time his best. He just humbly is one of the dopest MFers that ever touched a pen. And that
Purple
makes
Pills,
some of
that's
y'all
it.
uncomfortable.
That's it, Oracle.
Respectfully and gracefully, I don't give a F what a dude says about my brother. He will always be one of the GOATs. And Porters takes their reactions like, I agree, but I don't respect Dr. Umar or what he's trying to do. It is divisive, and he's taking his own hurt out
that's
on
right.
everyone else. We're
You're
good on
right.
him. And
Holy shit, Oracle, you're right. That was the radio edit. Oracle. That's so funny. That was the radio edit. I forgot. The Black and Purple Pills. Oh man, I can't even sing it right. Yeah, you're right. That's so funny.
And Royzer59 reportedly reacted to this on IG as a screenshot made its way to X that goes, Dr. Umar said it wasn't nothing personal. Bro top 5 dead or alive and been dead for decades via general consensus.
That's another thing we have to address here is that Eminem has been he's been touted as one of the best rappers of all times by some of the best rappers of all times. So it's not like just because he got famous and people love him. It's because like straight up OG rappers have all given Eminem his flowers. So Dr. Umar, who has nothing to do with music, he was just stating his opinion. And he sparked a bunch of shit. And, whatever. Dr. Umar is allowed to have his own opinion. Even if they're dumb opinions. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion. And again, we do have to remember, Dr. Umar didn't say that Eminem sucked or he's terrible and he hated him. He just said that he can't be the best of anything from African culture, which I think is bullshit. And again, I'm not saying that Eminem is the best rapper ever, but it's a ridiculous thing to say that people can't be the best at something that was created by someone else or another group of people. As we talked about earlier, basketball, golf, these different sports that black people dominate, right? So it's just, I believe football, right? Football was created by a white guy, and they're just, I believe so. I can't remember. I looked it up real quickly. I didn't really, go too deep into it. But anyways.
No one man's could ever change that. So let the man have his opinion, LOL.
Yes.
Nothing to be upset about. I get what he's trying to say. He feels hip-hop originated in Africa. Therefore, a non-African could never be at the pinnacle. It originated in Queens, and it is not a color code, but there's a few cultural characteristics that are unique to just black people. Nobody could ever crip like a Cali dude, but the whole world slanging and banging. This an art form and a business, but most important, a skill set. Bro came up with his own way to do it on the highest level and pushed every boundary, checked every box. He cold, dog. Shrugs emoji. Now on the flip side, Umar just looking at rap how high-level white executives look at blacks. We gotta shock the world to become billionaires, and we still might end.
And here's the other part about that is that there is truth behind this idea. And like unpopular opinion, Kanye West, although I don't agree with his opinion of the Jews, he is not wrong when he's saying that there are white people and there are white Jews who are dominating and controlling and gatekeeping a large part of hip hop and music in general. But when you're talking about hip hop, it is controlled by white people. It is controlled, and there is a weird narrative where where they're putting out the most destructive music they could possibly put out. That's happening right now. Like I'm sorry, but Sexy Red is a terrible rapper and a terrible influence. I fucking love the song. I love her songs. I fucking love her songs. They're so funny. Bang, bam, bam, bam. My booty hole brown. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. And Two Live Crew, right? Who doesn't remember Two Live Crew? But they were never like mainstream. Two Live Crew was never the mainstream hip hop act. But now we have WAP, and now we have fucking, booty hole brown, coochie pink and shit. It feels destructive, and it's not great. Now, so when Dr. Umar, if Dr. Umar and Kanye West want to talk about that, I think there is a valid argument there that there is there is something that is American culture, that is specifically black culture, that is being gatekept by white culture and people in power, and they're putting out the worst of the worst music that they could, and the most destructive music. And so, I mean, we did a whole thing about it, right? Like the idea that, they sell music to these people, to these demographics, and it talks about murder, promiscuity, selling drugs, taking drugs. Meanwhile, the people in the demographic that consumes that music tend to be in jail or imprisoned. And the same people who own the record companies own the prisons. The same people that benefit off of the slave labor of prisons own those companies too. BlackRock, State Street, all these huge investment firms fucking own all of these industries. So they stand to profit from putting out music that encourages crime and putting people in prison and having access to slave labor from prisoners. It's a far out conspiracy. I get it. But I'm not alone when fucking people look at it like this. And so if Dr. Umar was to say like, hey, we got to do something about fucking white people controlling the black culture, something that's very specifically black culture, I mean, and the way that they're doing and the mismanagement of it, I could totally get behind that. But to say that Eminem can't be the best because he's white, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. All right, so there's another video I want to play. There's one more, and then our guests will probably be ready to come on. They are feeling a little under the weather, so there is a chance they may reschedule today. So just so you guys know, just so you guys can keep that in mind as we go forward here. So MC Shan comes out. Now, MC Shan, wait a second, where is that one video? Because Eminem actually responded to all of this stuff. So hold on. Where was that video? Damn it. Because Eminem did actually respond. Shit, guys. I lost it. I'm such a turtle. Okay, maybe it is.
Still might end up broke and in jail if we piss off the wrong gatekeeper. And Eminem has clearly seen the crap storm that Dr. Umar started. As if you saw our last coverage on this, MC Shan shut down Dr. Umar's argument by highlighting how acts like MC Search and Eminem made significant contributions to the genre.
M deserves a slot in this game because, like I said, M was no Mark Zuckerberg. M was no rich to just come rob the rap game and step off.
And a few hours after the clip went,
he wasn't a rich black dude who stepped in the rap game and then took the money and then took off. That's what he just said. He's not Mark Zuckerberg.
viral. Eminem shared this on X that shows Eminem listening to cassette tapes of MC Shan's first 3 albums, Down by Law, Born to be Wild, and Play It Again, Shan. And this has sparked reactions like, I guess M pays attention to what people say about him more than we realize. Shout out to MC Shan. And MC Shan actually reacted to a fan's comments when a fan stated, "Yo, Eminem saw your video," to which he reacted, "I'm glad he did." Who knows for sure? Eminem probably followed our coverage of this story and read the top comments. And if he did, I hope he read this one. As a Detroit boy who has had my life saved with help from the 8 Mile Foundation and the Marshall Mathers Foundation, this quote, "Eminem doesn't do ish for the community," really rattles my cage. Outside of hip-hop, Eminem does a lot of charity and does a lot for Detroit. Even with the Mom Spaghetti food joint, all the money made there goes to local homeless shelters to help with their funds. I could bet my life on it that if we went to Philadelphia, there will be no Dr. Umar Foundation helping the community out. You won't find any homeless shelters saying, quote, "Man, if it wasn't for Dr. Umar, we don't know how we would keep this going." And this prick has the nerve to talk about what does M do for the community. I'll be looking forward to your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.
Yeah, so there you go. People are paying attention to it. Eminem, he responded by just saying, he basically giving a nod to Shan, who was part of the Juice Crew, which was like Marley Marl, Mr. Magic, Big Daddy Kane. So this is old school hip hop at its finest. Old school fucking New York hip hop. So this is MC Shan, who he starts talking
One
about
time for your mind, 2 times for your soul. Before I get into this one, I need to go get another whip.
I love this guy. Now, this is before my time. So, like, I love hip hop, but I'm not a hip hop head to the point where I'm like going back to the original shit. Like, you know, like, there's some great acts that you can't turn away from, like Public Enemy, right? Like NWA and stuff like that. My introduction to hip hop was Dr. Dre, The Chronic, all right, and 2 Live Crew. That was my introduction to hip hop, and I took the reins from it. My sister, is about 5 years older than me, and she introduced me to the music, and ever since then, I've just always enjoyed the culture. But like 2 Live Crew is ridiculous.
Shit. Because I got something to say to Dr. Umar.
Oh, that's what I was saying. So MC Shan is a before my time, and there's just this, I've listened to a lot of this old school hip hop, but it's nothing that I come back to all the time and listen to over and over again. Much props to fucking the OG fucking gangsters of hip hop. But some of that shit, the flow is kind of corny and slow for me. So I'm just like, I mean, some of that's okay. I don't know. I'm just sitting here, I'm talking shit right now. I'm talking shit. Ty, what is up, G? Good to see you. Ty will be with us here shortly when she gets ready to go. Ty, let me know when you're ready to jump in, and we'll just switch gears. Oh yeah. My bad. Did I send you anything, Ty? I don't know if I don't think I sent you anything. I think I sent you something. I don't remember. Golly. Do 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 do. All right, hold on. No. Hold on. I'm sorry, Ty. Oh yeah. No, there's no Zoom invite. It's all through Google, but let me get you. I'll get you going right now though. Hold on. So MC Shan, he's just sitting there defending Eminem, just so you guys know. I don't want to leave you guys now. MC Shan, he talks about his work with Snow, who is a reggae artist, a white reggae artist who said he's down. MC Search is also somebody he mentions in saying that, these white performers were down with hip hop. He is there's a distinction between race and hip hop culture. and he's saying to Dr. Umar, shut the fuck up. So just so you guys know, MC Shan, that's what he's doing. I'll play a little bit while I look for this link. So, all right, hold on, Ty.
Right. You pick on the wrong people. I understand your... but you have to look at the individuals that are the individuals. Eminem deserves... I can't look at Eminem as if he was Mark Zuckerberg and he came into our culture and he just robbed our culture. How do you think Eminem got in this culture? Because he was as ghetto as the rest of the motherfuckers, regardless of his skin. And I would be the biggest hit. I produced the biggest reggae artist ever. Bigger than Bob Marley. The Guinness Book of World Records says so. And so who am I to sit here? Snow is as ghetto as I am. I would go anywhere with Snow in the ghetto before I would go some people that I grew up with. Because that's in him, the ghetto. Okay? They may be white and can do what they do now and think. Don't be jealous of that. I'm not jealous because Snow can do a whole bunch of things that I can't. I remember Snow taking me to the mountains of Whistler, where I was the only black person there. But he was part of our fucking culture, son. You know what I'm...
And again, this is what I've seen as someone who has worked really closely with the reggae community out in San Diego. It was never about race. It was all about what you can contribute. And I've been saying it since the beginning. If you're a musician, you're not worried about the color of their skin. Your main concern is, can they do the fucking job? Are they good? What can they contribute? Did they contribute? Are you pulling your weight? What are you putting into this? It's never about race. It's like, if you can play, can you spit? Do you have bars? Do you have licks? Do you have chords? Do you have what you need? It's never about race. I've never had a problem. And I've worked in reggae with fucking Jamaicans and shit. So it's never been an issue. All right. I'm going to go pee. I'm going to let this play while I go pee, and then we'll get Ty up here and ready to go. So here we go. Enjoy some more Shan.
What I'm saying?
I'll BRB.
He's part of Eminem, part of our culture, Dr. Umar. You can't look at Eminem as if he was a Mark Zuckerberg, and I love Eminem. Eminem loves me. He's mentioned me on the Grammys, wherever he was. He didn't have to say nothing about me. Okay? And I'm not saying that about him because he said that. I'm saying this because what I'm saying is he was part of our culture. He wasn't Mark Zuckerberg. What's up, Rec Boys? He wasn't Mark Zuckerberg. Now, we could say that if Mark Zuckerberg came in and made a rap album and then decided he was going to step off into his culture and be rich because Search. Exactly. Search. You talking about Search was the first one. I remember Search. You be at clubs back in the day. Search made his way through this game. He picked up Pete Nice later on, but Search was that real authentic individual. Back then, only MC Search and Aaron Fuchs was allowed to be in the projects, being Jew and white or whatever the fuck they was. If you wasn't Aaron Fuchs or you wasn't MC Search, they wasn't letting you nowhere near the project, son. So, same thing with MC Search. If you want to say MC Search is a money or culture vulture, fuck you, nigga. Search my man. I remember when he was down there in the gritty grime with me. Every show I go do with Roxanne Shante, who's standing outside? MC Search. Getting in that joint. Search was like another biz. Everywhere you go, wherever it was popping, Search was there. White boy. And like I said, MC Search and Aaron Fuchs were only the two white people that could be in the projects 2 o'clock in the morning. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to them. They gonna get to their destination. If you fuck with them niggas, it's gonna be a problem for you. That's how it was, son. And so, Dr. Umar, I understand you on this black culture thing, but you're jumping on the wrong thing. Eminem, they said, that's their magazine. We don't own that magazine, sir.
Another thing I like about what he's saying, which we were talking about a little bit earlier, is that he's like, we already gave hip hop music away. We already gave it to the white man. The white man owns it already now. And he ends up saying, "Is like we know what's going on. Tell us how to fix it. Tell us how to fix it. How do we take it back? Instead of just pointing out what we're doing wrong, tell us what we can do to make it right." That's what MC Shan ends up saying. So, anyways, let's see where we're at here. Okay, I think that. So, Ty, whenever you are ready, my friend, just jump in and we'll be ready for you. So, yeah, MC Shan coming alive, looking at it, doing it huge.
If that's their magazines and that's what they want to put, do you read it? You must do. I don't read that shit that says Eminem is the #1 rap. I never heard that shit until I heard you say it. Because you read their fucking propaganda. I don't read that shit. I never heard that shit until I heard you say it. Eminem is the best. Come on, but M deserves a motherfucking slot in this game. Because like I said, M was no Mark Zuckerberg. M was no rich motherfucker to just come rob the rap game and step off. M motherfucking came in this motherfucker. He had more problems than any black nigga. Why? Because black niggas get fucked up on cocaine and mollies and shit. Eminem had fucking pill problems, son. He had fucking white boy problems.
Yeah, white boy problems.
He's a white boy. The nigga had, and his fucking plight was just as fucked up as some of us in the black community. Fucking overcoming drugs. Look at me. I was the biggest drug addict, motherfucking crackhead, motherfucking in hip hop history, so they say.
So they
look at
say.
Me. Look at him.
MC Shan is so awesome. Ty, I sent it to your IG, but I just sent it to your email, so I'm sorry about that. My bad. I should have been more specific with it. Okay. I just love this guy.
He had his own fucking problems, nigga. All right, so Dr. Umar, love you. But sometimes, the arguments that you be making sometimes be full of shit, son. And I'm no doctor, but no, you can't sit here and tell me certain things.
There you go, MC Shan. This is his podcast. I think it's called the Pink Elephant Podcast. So if you guys are actually ever interested in go checking that out, go ahead